And welcome back. As you can see, I have not moved one fucking inch. So, as I've been promising, my top 5 for October is my Halloween 5. And it's not top 5, it's what I'm calling the Halloween 5. 5 best movies out of 5, or the not best movies out of 5 different genres of Halloween monster movies. Now, a few things I should get out of the way right now. I do not have any props for this one, so I try not to skip ahead or anything like that just to get to what I'm talking about. I don't have a prop basically this time around, so I do have to actually say what I'm talking about clearly and focused. Also, I'll just be doing them in alphabetical order just to go down the list. So there's that. And as I said, this is not a top 5, so it's not like 5 to 4 and then my number 1. This is 5 different categories with one movie in each category, and they are my favorite movies out of those categories. So, without any further ado, let us get started. And alphabetically speaking, F comes before G. So, that means we're starting off with Frankenstein, folks. So, my number 1 favorite Frankenstein movie is a movie called Frankenstein Unbound. Now, it's a movie that came out, I believe, in the 90s, early 90s. Actually, about mid-90s, I should say. I have not seen it in years. I really love this version of Frankenstein. Because it's technically future. It's technically the future Frankenstein. But it's to say it's not. What it is John Hurt plays not Frankenstein, kind of. He plays a time traveler in his own special DeLorean. And it's a badass looking car, first off. It looks kind of like a DeLorean. It's almost like if you turn a sports car into basically a DeLorean from Back to the Future. But it goes back in time to the time, I can't remember when exactly Frankenstein does take place. It is that period of time, though. And he meets Mary Shelley, the woman who ends up writing Frankenstein. He ends up hooking up with Mary Shelley. He meets Dr. Frankenstein. He meets Frankenstein. He meets Frankenstein's wife and all that stuff. He meets these people, and it's basically his exploits as a time traveler and a scientist. Excuse me, and basically meeting these people and dealing with all the facts that's going on. It's a really interesting take on Frankenstein, because very rarely we've had a few different versions of Frankenstein where, hey, we're building him in the future and all that stuff, or something along that. We had Frankenstein, I, Frankenstein, which, I remember seeing that, I'm just like, oh. See, I wasn't doing my rating system at that point, I don't think, because I probably would have given that about a 5. Yeah, I would have given it a 5, if not a 4. That wasn't very good of a movie. It was entertaining, but it was not overly good. Which I think I gave like Transformers like something or other. But yeah, Frankenstein. Frankenstein Unbound, I really, really enjoy. The acting, first off, is fun, especially for John Hurt. John Hurt, have you ever seen John Hurt turn in a bad performance in his life? Ever? This is a man who's played. He's had an alien coming out of his chest twice. He's had an alien and Spaceballs. I believe he played Aragorn. He voiced Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings Bashki version. He's in Hellboy. He played Zeus at one. He played Zeus at one point, kind of. Then of course he's so iconic. Basically, I can't. We're struggling, but it's just he's been appearing so much that it's really hard to talk about it. Forgive me, my little AD going on there. The television's on in the background. But no, and John Hurt is interesting. His interaction with these characters, especially like with Frankenstein and Mary Shelley, because he's talking about Mary Shelley. It's like, look, I have your book. You wrote this. And he's like, oh, it's like, would you want to read it? It's like, no, why spoil it? That's really good interactions. And for Dr. Frankenstein himself, he's very interesting because he creates Frankenstein as a path to immortality, as it were. And he actually brings his wife back after she's killed. And it's fairly fascinating, but she actually takes her own life because she thinks she's a monster now. And Frankenstein himself, the Frankenstein monster, is different in this movie. He's intelligent. He is intelligent enough that he can speak clearly. He's not this as a friend. No, he's not that. He can talk quite well. He speaks very clearly, actually. But he's bestial. He's a monster. He kills his wife just by fucking swiping her, breaking her ribcage and shit like that. He fucking catches up to a fucking carriage of horses running. And then it gets down to him versus John Hurt at the end. And John Hurt basically just has this really great line. It's so basic, but it's great at the same time. Where he's just talking about, he's facing on Frankenstein. He's got a gun and stuff like that. And we're just like, who are you? And just hearing John Hurt say this, I was like, I am Frankenstein. And it's just like, I can't do it justice. The way John Hurt says that is just so awesome. But and then the whole Unbound thing, basically, John Hurt is he's kind of stuck there is the thing, but this car still runs and all that, but he's got a computer and it's like doing computers doing that. It's like why is this not working? It's because time is unbound. Hence the term Frankenstein Unbound. So when he finally defeats Frankenstein, essentially by causing his laser to basically self-destruct or something like that, the engine or something like that. It basically creates like this weird temporal vortex of time. And, Frankenstein is technically defeated and he's technically not. The monster's technically defeated, but he's technically not. He's like, becomes unbound, as he puts it. And the movie ends with like this barren wasteland of John Hurt walking towards like a building in the snow. It's a great watch, especially if you like. It feels very 90s. It does, but it's the beauty of the movie. I love it. I really love Frankenstein Unbound. I can't help it. I enjoy that movie so much. So Frankenstein Unbound is my number one Frankenstein movie. Moving on, number G for Ghost. My number one favorite Ghost movie is a very recent movie, actually, which is getting a sequel, I believe, next year or the year after. One of those two. The Conjuring. Now, I'm fully admit, I am not a big ghost movie person. I don't find the genre very interesting most of the time. There are some exceptions. I think Casper, I'm one of the people who actually kind of enjoys Casper. That's not a scary movie, but I find it a fun movie. But it's just stupid. It's the thing. It's stupid that it's a cast is just kind of like all over the place, but it's fun in its own right. I like Casper a lot. So yeah. Original Poltergeist is decent. I have never seen the Sinister or Paranormal Paranormal Activity. I don't count as a ghost movie. That's supernatural, but it's something else. So generally speaking, I'm very, very loose with the ghost movies I go see, and even the ones I like. The Conjuring, however, was fucking phenomenal. That's like one of the few ghost movies that I'm just like, damn, this is a good movie. It's based off true events about two real spiritualists who go around and debunk ghosts or go to exorcise ghosts. But sometimes shit don't go right. The wife is like a medium, and they're played by Patrick Wilson, and I don't remember her name off the top of my head. She was really good though. And basically, they go to help this couple, and we basically don't get them in the movie as the main plot until like halfway through. But this couple and their family moves into a house essentially, and it's haunted by the spirit of a witch, a very pissed off witch, a very fucked up pissed off witch. And the movie is dealing with all these, and basically the possessions and all that. And she gets possessed by the spirit, and they save her and all that. By the way, there's spoilers in this the review, by the way, or list. So yeah, heads up. So yeah, and they save her and stuff like that. But what's captivating about this movie is the tone and the setting and the feel of this movie. It's not a loud, boisterous movie. There is very little soundtrack at all to it. It is a very quiet, very slow-paced, very suspenseful movie. When there is like legit scares in the movie, there are legit scares in the movie. The tension is just, oh man. I jump. It's really hard to get me to jump, though. Just the standard jump scare will make me do it if it's just there. But that's because I'm not scared. Just because here's what makes a jump scare make me jump usually. It's quiet and then a loud noise happens. Like, Jesus Christ, loud. That's what a jump scare to me does. Except in The Conjuring, where I legitly got scared. I won't lie. I legitly got scared shitless once or twice. Like, oh, ah! There's one scene in particular. It's this one of the cop is there's a cop there, and he's a skeptic, but he's open basically, and he's investigating the house, and it's all silent. He's walking through the house like he thinks he hears stuff. Goes back, then he walks by a laundry room. There's nothing there, and he walks again. And we see a maid. and then she just disappears. And he goes in to see her. She's not there. He immediately turns around. She's just there! Randomly! Just, what the fuck? I'm just sitting there, and I saw some friends, I'm just like, fuck me! I laughed, though. I'm like, I enjoyed the fact that scared me. That's the thing. People see horror movies to get scared, but it's a fun type of scared. It's not like, oh my god, 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 you're crying your eyes out scared. No, it's, it happened, you're laughing because you're laughing because you got scared. You're like, oh man, I didn't think I'd be scared, but I did. I actually had to avert my glasses in another scene where I'm like, fuck, there's another jump scare coming. I'm still watching it, but I'm like, got my glasses off and stuff like that, and it's like, fuck, because I got shitty eyesight, folks. So I'm just like, okay, I'm still seeing the screen, but I'm like, I'm not going to puss out completely on this right now. Because that's what really gets me is the jump scares. Horrible, grotesque imagery I can handle, no problem. Suspense and all that. But when the jump scare happens, I'm like, fuck you! And there's some moments where that could be considered technically a jump scare, but it didn't scare me because first off, I either saw it in the trailer, like that, like the whole clapping scene in the trailer, where it's like, clap. Just like that would scare any. That being said, if you're in that scenario, that would scare anyone. There's the ball jumping out randomly. I'm like, I'm just like that's a little unsettling. There's some unsettling images in this movie. I can't lie on that. It's just the atmosphere of this movie, the tone of it works so well. The acting is great. They developed a sequel or a spin-off, Annabelle, which didn't do anywhere near as well. It is not anywhere near as good. I didn't catch it, but I've heard people say it. It's good. Annabelle's got like one or two good scares in it, and that's about it. The Conjuring is you're kind of on the edge of your seat throughout the entire movie with The Conjuring. So there's that, and I like the way they used the Annabelle doll in The Conjuring, by the way, because you think the Annabelle doll is going to be part of the actual movie. It's the beginning story, and we get to see it just barely in the middle and at the end. And the ending of that movie is great. The ending of the movie is very holy crap, what's going to happen? Cut. It's like, oh shit. It's like, whew, I think I need a clean pair of drawers on that one. No, I didn't, but that's another thing. I don't think I could ever see a movie that has literally made me, wet myself, because there are people who go see movies and not legitly, kind of urinate or something like that. It's like it scared me so much I pissed myself. I crapped my pants. I was so scared. That does actually happen. There's a reason people made that saying up, because it does kind of happen with people. I've never seen a movie that scared me that badly. Yet. Who knows? Because I'm not going to see Ouija. I'm just not going to end up seeing Ouija. Sorry for unless you tell me to see Ouija, I'll see Ouija, basically. But I'm not going to end up seeing Ouija. Otherwise, I'm not going to end up seeing Ouija. Again, tell me to do it, I'll go do it. But no, just the tone, the acting, the storytelling is great. Everything about that movie is just fantastic. That's like the perfect ghost story to me. Well, I mean, perfect supernatural ghost movie. The original Haunting is really good too. I didn't put it on the list because we don't know if it's in their head or not and all that stuff. All of that. That I won't count in this list, even though that's a classic, and I do enjoy that movie. This, to me, is like the new age great ghost movie. Even though things like Sinister and Insidious are really good from what I hear. I have not seen those, so I can't judge them. So yeah. So next on my list, and I'm getting to the last three letters of the alphabet, basically. What? Well, kind of last. Next is my favorite werewolf movie. So W. So my favorite werewolf movie is hands down, without a doubt, and maybe even be one of probably my favorite Halloween movie of all time. American Werewolf in London. That is just a fantastic movie. It's the greatest combination of horror, comedy, and a little bit of action when the werewolf's going rampage and all that stuff. It's just a great blend. The guy gets bit by a werewolf in the forest, his friend gets killed, and now he's got to, deal with the fact he's going to become a werewolf soon. And what can you say? If you have not seen this movie, go see this movie. This movie is fucking fantastic. It is it's one of the best 80s movies ever. And the best werewolf movie, in my opinion, ever. His friend, one of the various things is his friend is dead, but he keeps coming back like basically like a zombie or they never specify if he's a zombie or a ghost. I think he's a ghost, but he's basically decomposing every time more and more every time he goes to see his friend. That basically says you need to kill yourself, man. You need to kill yourself. Don't do to me. Don't do what happened to me, man. Don't do that to others. But he keeps decomposing, so it's like why are you? Because that's the thing. I don't know if he's supposed to be a zombie or a ghost. I think he's a ghost who's just decomposing in imagery. Because otherwise, people would be seeing him and be like, "Oh, zombie! Oh my god!" But then again, you see him eating some like chips and stuff in one scene. So maybe he's a zombie, but no one else can see him. I don't know. But it's just the humor just comes from that. He's funny. And then of course you have the fucking classic, one of the best uses of practical effects ever put on film is the transformation scene in that movie. It is by far one of the greatest special effects ever put to screen. You see and hear his bones breaking and contorting and regoing. You see his face just expand. You see his junk, but whatever. Who cares about that? He's turning into a fucking werewolf, and then when the werewolf itself is on screen, it's scary as hell, man. He's ripping people apart. He's like wrecking over vehicles in London. It is just fantastic. And the soundtrack in that movie is wonderful too. It's like, I see a bad moon rising. It's just great. In fact, I think that's even playing while he's transforming. I think that plays in the scene. There's a lot of like moon-based songs in that movie, a lot of moon-based music, and werewolf and stuff like that. So I don't know, I cannot recommend that movie enough. I really can't. They made a sequel, kind of, which is American Werewolf in Paris, which is not anywhere near as good. No, in fact, it's really not good at all. Because you know how werewolves transform in this movie? They take a drug that lets them transform. During a full moon still. During a full moon. But no, that's not a werewolf. No. A werewolf in Van Helsing was far better. I like Van Helsing. I do. That's like one of my favorite amalgames of, all the classics, werewolf, vampire, Frankenstein, all that. But I would not put that on this list or anything like that. Maybe a different list at some point. Because I really do enjoy that movie. I do. I heard a lot of people didn't like it, but fuck, man. They used the war really well. I liked the guy who played Dracula. He was fun. The werewolf was really good. Frankenstein was an interesting take, so it was all fun. Hugh Jackman was great. So yeah, American Werewolf in London. Not my favorite werewolf movie. Next, my favorite vampire movie. Now this one was a tough one because vampire movies became, once Twilight hit, I lost my interest in vampire movies a lot. And even before then, I hadn't seen a great deal of vampire movies. Not for lack of trying, mind you, because I had seen things like Blade. I had seen John Carpenter's Vampires. I'd seen Lost Boys and all that stuff. My favorite vampire movie, though, is Daybreakers. I love Daybreakers is great. It's got Ethan Hawke, Sam Neill, who doesn't age a day. Have you seen Sam Neill? He has not aged one fucking bit. Willem Dafoe, who plays Elvis, who's a vampire who got turned human. And that's the point of the... It's a great commentary. Because it's a different take. What if it were in a world where the vampires won, basically? Humans are endangered. Blood is running out. They got to build synthetic blood, basically, to feed the population. Otherwise, they are going to turn into very homicidal bat creatures. And they use lore really interesting in this movie. The way you cure a vampire is to burn them enough to like have them on fire and then dump them in water, and it turns them back to normal. And they have to go through a child process. And they find this, and Willem Dafoe, who's a vampire, finds this out by accident, basically. And Ethan Hawke basically discovers this, like, okay, maybe we should try it on me. And they go through it repeatedly over and over again because he's a vampire, so he can heal from it. So you keep doing that until he's finally cured. And all the while, Sam Neill is just like, no, we don't need to cure from vampires, and we're perfect. We are the top of the food chain. And he turns his daughter into a vampire who's a human still, and just like and then she's like forced to feed herself just to prove a point. Which apparently, when a vampire feeds on another vampire or vampire feeds on themselves, it's poisonous to them. It will fuck them up. So really, it's messed up because you see what they turn into when they don't get enough blood. When they're basically going rabid, they turn into these mutant bat monsters. Oddly enough, though, another way to cure a vampire is to feed off a cured vampire, a human who was once a vampire, and that turns you into a vampire. So basically, these guys become so hungry. Sam Neill basically bites Ethan Hawking. Stephen Hawking. Ire. Wow, that was horrible of me. But yeah, Stephen Hawking, the vampire. Ah, ah. Uh, but no. So he beats Ethan Hawking, and he turns human, not knowing he did it until he realizes what happened. And then all his guards who came in to stop them feed on him and feed on each other and stuff like that, curing themselves. And then it basically becomes, it's basically like a virus, but a good virus. So yeah, it's just a fascinating world because they have these cities built underground, and during the day they have like windows that are especially designed on the cars to travel through the day. They have like skylines to travel through the day. It's a really interesting take and concept. And of course, the cast is great. Ethan Hawke is really good. Sam Neill is great. Willem Dafoe is great. His name is Elvis. These guys like, who are you guys? We're the guys with the crossbows. I love Willem Dafoe in anything he shows up in. I loved him in John Wick when I saw earlier Sam this week. He was great in John Wick. So yeah, my favorite vampire movie is easily Daybreakers. I love Daybreakers. Check out Daybreakers if you get a chance. Finally, my favorite zombie movie. This was a real tough one because I am going to fully admit I am fucking sick and tired of zombies. I was never a big zombie fan to begin with. The first couple original Dawn or Night of Living Deads are okay, like George J. Romero. In the remake they did with the melting zombie and stuff like that. That was kind of interesting. But then we just got sickened Chud. That's stupid. What are some of the other ones? Like the remake of Land of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Those are we got this fast. It's 28 days later. I don't care about the fucking warm bodies. My God. So, and I don't I'm not someone who watches The Walking Dead. I tried watching an episode. I watched one episode. I'm like, I can't get into this. I can't. You like Walking Dead? God bless you. If you like any zombie movie, God bless you. I am sick to death of zombies. I really am. But there's an exception to everything. And my exception is zombies work okay in comedy. When you're making a commentary on zombies and working in a comedic fashion, zombies can be entertaining, folks. So, my favorite zombie movie is actually a tie. Because I can't really decide which one I like better. So, my favorite zombie movies are Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland. Zombieland because Jeff Cast is hilarious in the movie. So is Shaun of the Dead because it's Simon Pegg. It's Edgar Wright, so really it's funny that way. But Zombieland, Tallahassee, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone is. It's a great little It's kind of a commentary on zombieism, but it's not. I don't even think zombieism in the world. I just made up a word, zombieism. But it's just great. Because the comedy is it's almost nonstop in that movie. Very rarely do you have time to breathe. But when you do, there's some heartfelt moments in there. Especially when they start off with wow, I just said his name. Now I can't, it's not Zac Efron, it's, wow. I said his name earlier, just a minute ago, and now I'm blanking on it. It's Woody Harrelson, wow, I just blanked on it. Oh, whatever. Basically, he plays the main guy. So basically, he's got those rules and the rules for surviving in Zombieland, and you see the rules pop every time the rules met. So that's fun. I think that's funny. Chemistry between him and Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone, that's all fun. And the girl, I don't know who played her sister, but here's how one perfect way I love this movie. When the movie opens up with a montage of zombies chasing people, and it's For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, you know you're doing something right. You know you're doing something amazing. Especially when you make one of the greatest cameos in movie history. With, spoiler, Bill Murray as Bill Murray. He's not a zombie. It's just what's Bill Murray? You're a zombie? Ow! Ow! Wait, zombies don't scream. Zombies don't talk. I'm not a zombie, man. Oh, God, that hurts so bad. It's a wig. It's a wig. No, my makeup guy showed me how to do this. So, zombies don't attack other zombies. I got a game of golf in yesterday. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, I saw Eddie Van Halen. Oh, how's he? Well, he's a zombie. So, yeah, I love Zombieland. The action's fun in that movie, especially the end. That climax in Zombieland, That's what makes it a little more fun for me than, say, Shaun of the Dead. The climax in Zombieland is great. Um, but it's not. I'm still thinking of his name, and I can't remember his name. It's like I know it's like Zachary something or other, or something along those lines. It's not Zac Efron because that's a completely different guy. I know that. He's playing Lex Luthor in fucking Batman v Superman. I know I'm gonna like remember the name, and then it just gave like, how did I forget that? Same like I did with Andy Serkis. I feel bad when I remember, but then again, Andy Serkis, I felt really bad about not remembering. So yeah. Anyway, that again, but Shaun of the Dead's a different one because Shaun of the Dead is legitly a commentary on the whole zombie thing. Um, it's it shows how even during a zombie outbreak, these guys don't fucking understand what's going on until then. Because he's just going about his daily routine, not thinking like, oh, zombie. You see, there's blood smeared on a fucking like there's blood smeared on like a window or door for like a beer, like the beer, and he's like, he just gets the beer and whatever and does not care. Because it's like you're so mundane, so in a routine, you don't notice the world around you anymore. You're just like tired and zombified. And then and they even shows like just act like a zombie, just they act like the zombies and stuff like that. It's great. Simon Pegg and oh god, I can't remember it. Nick Frost. There we go. Nick Frost. I love those guys. I hope they still do more like films. The Cornello trilogy that Edgar Wright did is done. You know those guys will do more movies together. But you got the standard. His friends who's annoying, the girlfriend he's got saved, the generally nice girl, and all that stuff, and then the guy. It's funny. It really is. There's some just great bits of humor, and again, it's social commentary. It really is, and it's great social commentary. It's great British humor too. Not just humor, but not just British humor, but humor. But it's good British humor too, because it's Edgar Wright and the Edgar Wright crew. They are very it's very British humor. But in their whole series, Hot Fuzz, I love. Edgar and World's End, I loved. I don't know which one I loved the most out of them though. That's something I'll have to maybe do on a video at some point. What is my favorite Edgar Wright Cornello trilogy movie? So yes, again, to recap, my favorite Frankenstein movie is Frankenstein Unbound. My favorite ghost movie is The Conjuring. My favorite werewolf movie is American Werewolf in London. My favorite vampire movie is Daybreakers. And my favorite zombie movie is a tie between Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead. So, that does it for my Halloween 5. I'll have to say, I did enjoy doing a different type of 5 video. If you want me to possibly do more videos like this, I may still do more of them like this in the future. But if you want more top 5s like this, or just top 5s in general, let me know. Put in the comments below. I'm still doing the top 5s, but I do them monthly, as I said, because I just have so many other things to be doing. So, yes, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As I said in the previous and every other video, like, comment, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. And by all means, put us in, if you want us to read something, put it in the comments below. Let me know. And, yeah, if you just want us to talk about something, really. I mean, anything movie, media related. Or even games. We'll talk about games. So, yeah, I will see you for the next one, which I have no idea what's going to be at this moment. I have to go check online in a little bit to see what movies are coming out this coming week. So, yeah, I will see you for the next one. Thank you for watching.